All right, good morning, people. Let's jump in here on Tesla and Tesla. It's one of the few that were up, but it's getting close to getting capped. So here we go. All right, so 729 for Tesla and Tesla. So what did Tesla do? It went up 5.6 from 219 to 232. We went up 417. So we went up 80% to 1574. So let me show you a chart I had talked about before because this is the one that I wanted to discuss for a second. So I had talked about this in one of the prior videos. So a lot of times when you gap down like this. Now you can have a runaway gap, breakaway to the downside, just like you can have a breakaway to the up, and you don't necessarily fill gaps. But I had a feeling when this, it was kind of oversold. Okay, yeah, you missed earnings. It's a tough environment, but they really beat it up. And I said it's very likely to come back up here to this 234, which is right where this gap touches. Um, and here it is at 232. Now, ironically, so let's take the chart away. Ironically, let's jump in and look at where our weeklies are. So we have weeklies at 235, which is our huge, huge one, right? We want to win that one. So we're only 1.25 away. And right now we're underwater because we've got 4 trading days to go with it so close. Then we have a 1315 that's a little bit more runway. And then we've run by this guy, almost 1%. So I could live with the 230s, even 234. This guy gets hurt, but at 1250 contracts, we win this and we win this, and then we have more on the synthetic side. So, and the chart's kind of playing very well that may be the top, this 234-ish gap. So, boy, would I love to see that. I actually bought some Tesla down when it went way down, and I'm waiting to write my own call. I won't put a synthetic on. I'm just trying to do, a covered call strategy on it. But I like to wait for it to go up because if I can get it at 234 and I go right a 250 out 3 weeks or 2 weeks and get a lot of premium, then I'll just set if it doesn't get called out and hold it and continue to write, kind of do a wheel method. But I never called it a wheel. I mean, they have all these names for everything. And I've been doing covered calls and rolls and strategies for many, many years since I first learned options. So I don't always just, subscribe to these quote names that people call these methods. To me, they're just making money. But I get it. I get how you can label that. Okay. Um, so let's go. So no synthetic, no trades were put on. They did get a couple 100,000 buy-in. Look at their share count. I love since I've been covering Tesla. I mean, I think they're the largest. I don't really do NVIDIA now, but I did do some NVIDIA before. Um, and it had a high share count, but I don't think it's at the level here. But obviously, I mentioned this in another video. Assets under management, it had the most because you take a $27 to $30 stock range and you have a high share count versus a stock that's at 15s with Tesla. So they added 200,000. They didn't put any contracts on. I kind of wish they would and write some higher just so I think we'll win those if they wrote a 240 or something. It's interesting. I mean, I could be wrong that we don't just keep going, but I know we're likely to gap fill. But that can be intraday, right? We can run up to 234 and close down at 230. Okay, guys, so what else we got? Let's look at holdings. This tells us everything, right? Our cash. So our synthetic, by moving up the 11, 12 points, we are lowering that loss. So let's go look at that graphically, right? So 138 loss. And again, what I'm doing with these, it has double synthetic. But this is where they add. They're not really adding much here because they're not quite up there yet. Um, and what I'm seeing is, so I'm reporting down here on the one. I could add them together and graph it that way. I just didn't choose to do it. So where are we? Our 89 as we move up, right? But we got to be careful. We really can't move up without killing our weeklies. Uh, I mean, I know we get it on the synthetic, but I hate giving that money back that we have in the piggy bank. So here's our weeklies. So because of the 4 days remaining, like it's not at 235, it's at 232. It's not at 237, it's at 232. But look at these guys jump from under $1 to over. I think this was $1 or something and it went to 4. So now we're underwater, right? And this is a newer one that we put in much lower. I think we put that on Friday. So, you know, our 9.8 million that we collected, we'd have to spend 15 million. So we're minus 52%. Here's the share count, right? Look at that, 250,000 shares on some funds would be 3, 4, 5%, not on Tesla or Tesla. So where do we close? Look at this. We match, guys. 1574, 1574, right? All right, so how we doing on our payout? The $1 million question. Let's see. Yep, I covered everything here. I'll try and get through this quickly for you guys. So on the payout side, we have paid out to 105 on that. Sorry, we've collected 205, right? In total income. So let's look at our synthetic. So we now have a 93 million if you add the 89 and the 4 on the 260 and the 265 strike. So we're at a $93 million loss. It's down from 140, but you know, we're starting to get caps on the weeklies. Now, if my chart probabilities plays out like I think it will, we're going to be okay this week. But again, it's just probabilities I see in the chart. It doesn't mean that that's reality. Um, so what I want to happen is us to stay in that range and get both, right? I mean, and then, uh, and I wouldn't be against, well, yeah, I would be in that scenario. Okay, so that kind of sums it up. We've got 205 in the piggy bank, guys. So I had said to you, based on the share price, I really don't see them paying $1 again. They could, but I think it's more likely that we get, you know, a 70% yield or something like that. Let's see how this works. 71.6 based on our current share price. All right, guys, so that's what I got for you on Tesla, underlying of Tesla. All right, guys, have a great trading day, work day, vacation day, golf day, whatever you got on the agenda, peoples. Have a good one. Bye for now. Again, not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. Okay, bye, peoples.